Please be seated. The court is now back in session. Again, the floor is given to the defense counsel for Nuon Chea to put further questions to the witness.
Thank you, Mr. President. One thing to add in respect of some of the photos that were shown earlier to the witness. Xylab identifies the photos of inter alia Geng Biao as originating from the Phnom Penh Post. It says print out of 116 photographs from Phnom Penh Post KR photo catalog with captions. If they are in fact from the Phnom Penh Post or whether they just have them in file, that is unclear to me. Having said that, Mr. President, I would like to finish my questions with showing a video clip to the witness of 2 minutes identified in our earlier email today to the senior legal officer. So with your leave, I would like to show that on the screen.
Identified for us also for the record.
I will do that shortly. Yes, I apologize. It's E3/3015R, and it's from the beginning up to 2 minute 19.
Yes, the chamber allows it, and AV unit, please show that the video clipped on screen.
Mr. Witness, this is most likely footage from a visit of Pol Pot to the East Zone, to a presumably to a rubber plantation, early 1978. Were you somehow involved in that visit or in the shooting of this footage that you just saw? Are you somehow involved?
No, I was not involved in this video.
Do you recall accompanying Pol Pot to the East Zone at any point in time in early 78?
I cannot, I do not think I participated in such an event.
That's no problem. I just wanted to ask you this question. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'm finished.
Thank you. The floor is now given to the Defense Counsel for Kieu Sampon to put questions to the witness. Kong Sampon. Thank you, Mr. President. We, the Defense Counsel for Kieu Sampon, do not have any questions for this witness. Thank you. President, Mr. Seng Litay, the Chamber is grateful of your presence, and your testimony is now concluded. It may contribute to the ascertainment of the truth in this case, and you are no longer required to be present in the courtroom. For that reason, you may return to your residence or wherever you wish to go to, and the Chamber wishes you all the very best. And Mr. Mamratia, the Chamber also is grateful of your assistance. Court officer, please make an arrangement with Visu to arrange for Mr. Seng Litay to return to his home or wherever he wishes to return to. And Mr. Seng Litay and Mamratia, you are now excused. Next, the Chamber will hear testimony of a civil party through TCCP 258. Court officer, please usher civil party to TCCP 258 into the courtroom. President, good afternoon, Madam Civil Party. What is your name? Civil Party. My name is Thieu Niep. President, please repeat your name. Civil Party, my name is Thieu Niep. President, thank you, Madam Thieu Niep. And do you recall when you were born? Answer, I was born in 1952. Question, where were you born? Answer, I was born at the Mrei Commune, Kampong Svai District, Kampong Thom Province. Question, where is your current address? Answer, I live in Boji Village, the Mrei Commune, Kampong Svai District, Kampong Thom Province. Question, what is your current occupation and what are the names of your parents? Answer, my father is Thon Thieu and my mother is Chun Sia. As for my occupation, I am a rice farmer. Question, what is the name of your husband and how many children do you have? Answer, I have two children with my first husband, and for my second husband we have 4 children. Question, what is his name? Answer, my second husband is To Bien. President, thank you, Madam Thieu Niep. Toward the conclusion of your testimony as a civil party, you have an opportunity to make an impact statement in relation to harms you suffered under the Democratic Cambodia regime from 17 April 1975 to 6 January 29, if you wish to do so. And Madam Thieu Niep, have you been interviewed by investigators from the Office of the Co-Investigating Judges? Answer, I was interviewed for 1 or 2 times in the past. Question, and do you recall when that happened and where? Answer, I cannot recall the date, but I was interviewed in this court, that is at the room under this courtroom. I was interviewed by a lawyer. Question, so you was interviewed by a lawyer but not the OCIJ investigator, is that correct? Answer, I was called by my lawyer and I was interviewed. President, thank you, and pursuant to Rule 91 bis, I hand the floor first to the lead co-lawyers for civil parties before other parties. And the combined time for the lead co-lawyers and the co-prosecutors are through court sessions to put questions to the civil party. You have the floor.
Merci. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Madam Civil Party. I will put a few questions to you this afternoon. and I believe I'll do so up to the end of today's hearings at 4 p.m. I'll start by putting general questions to you regarding your background during the democratic Kampuchea regime in order to enable the chamber to understand your history, and then I will focus briefly on events you witnessed in Phnom Penh and the disappearance of your husband. For a start, I would like to know where you lived prior to the 17th of April 1975.
In 1975, I lived in my native village and commune.
Pouvez-vous indiquer à la Cour le nom?
Can you tell the chamber the name of your village, the name of your commune, and your district of origin?
It was Damrai Slap village, Damrai Slap commune, Kampong Svai district, Kampong Thom province.
Étiez-vous déjà marié?
Were you already married in 1975?
I got married with my husband in 1973.
Comment s'appelait votre mari?
What was your husband's name and what was his occupation when you got married to him?
My husband was Khaing Chu, and after we got married, he works in the rice field in our village and commune.
Je vous remercie.
Thank you. After having worked in a rice field in your village, where was he assigned to work?
He worked in the village, in the nearby area within the village, as he worked for the cooperative.
Après avoir travaillé pour cette
After working for that cooperative, where was your husband sent?
After he worked at the cooperative, by 1974, my husband was sent to the battlefield.
Votre mari a-t-il pris part à...
Did your husband participate in the liberation of Phnom Penh?
In around 1974, he went to the battlefield, and in 1975, I knew and I learned that Phnom Penh was liberated.
Où a-t-il été affecté après?
Where was he assigned after the liberation of Phnom Penh in April 1975?
After the liberation in 1975, my husband worked at a state market in Phnom Penh, that is at the location known as Psa Thmai.
as of the moment when your husband was assigned to Sart May, did he have the same position until the moment he disappeared, or did he have another position in Phnom Penh?
The work he did there was not different from a similar area, that is to gather vegetables and rice in the state market that is at Sat Mai.
Thank you. When your husband was assigned to Sart May, were you in Phnom Penh?
In 1975, I was not in the city yet. I was moved to the city in 1978.
So from the moment when you were sent to Phnom Penh, did you work in Phnom Penh? And if yes, can you tell the chamber where and in which capacity you worked?
I lived at Sat Mai. I did not hold any position. I was a cook for staff at the workplace.
You said to the chamber that you arrived in Phnom Penh in 1978. Do you remember if it was at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year? Do you have any kind of bearings in relation to that year, or an idea of the season when this happened?
In 1978, that was a few days before the New Year, I was brought to the city.
Did you have children back then when you were brought to Phnom Penh?
I had a child. The child was born in 1974. I got married in 1973, and then in early 1974, my child was born.
Thank you. I would like to get back to your husband's profession when he was at the Sart May in Phnom Penh. Are you familiar with the word or with the term Office 870?
The place where my husband worked, I asked him what was it called, and he told me that it was called Ministry 870, said the civil party. And that place was in charge of distributing vegetable, meat.
vous remercie.
Thank you. You also said in your civil party application, document E3/6325, English ERN 011141153, French 01152692, Khmer 0054416 to 8 to 9. You said that your husband was a cadre in Office 870. Was he a cadre, or was he just a simple office worker? Which details do you wish to provide to the chamber today regarding that?
He was not a cadre. He was a worker who carried the products.
In your supplementary information form E3/6425 at subparagraph A at English ERN 01069300, French 01051394, Khmer 00581517/19. It is stated that your husband was a battalion commander in 1978. Is this true? And do you remember if your husband was a battalion commander in 1978?
It was at the time when he was a soldier that he was within the battalion. It was at the time when he was engaging in battlefields that he was with the battalion, not at the time when he was in the city.
So if I understood you well, before he was assigned to the Central Market, your husband was a member of a battalion, but he never was a battalion commander. So did I understand properly what you just clarified right now?
Yes. At the time when he moved to Psa Thmai, he was not in that position.
Thank you. You also said to us earlier on that you, when you arrived in Phnom Penh around the new year of 1978, you were a cook over there. And when you were at Psa Thmai, did you see the Khmer Rouge senior leaders?
In 1978, it was during the months that people were evacuated from Prey Vang province to the city. And those people were put to stay in Psa Thmai. And I was tasked to cook rice for those people. and krama and food were distributed to them. And I saw from a distance, people told me that the person who was distributing food and clothes to the evacuees were Ta Khieu Sampon.
Who told you that it was Khieu Sampon who was distributing food to the evacuees?
No one told me. I was also there. I saw him and I asked my husband. And my husband told me that he was Ta Khieu Sampon. And that was what my husband told me. He was there for about 5 minutes and then he disappeared.
Do you remember if Khieu Sampon was accompanied by other people, by other leaders on that day?
At the time when I saw him, I saw a messenger carrying a gun and he was standing behind him. And people told me that that guy was his messenger.
Avez-vous vu que...
Did you see Khieu Sampon upon other occasions, or was that the only time you saw him when you were in Phnom Penh?
I saw him only once time. I have never seen him again.
You said that Khieu Sampon's visit at the Psart May happened when the people were evacuated from Prey Veng. Do you remember the date in 1978 when you saw Khieu Sampon at the Psart May?
I cannot recall the exact date, but what I can recall was that it happened after Phnom Penh.
Et que s'est-il passé?
And what happened? You said that you were cooking for these evacuees, but what happened to them afterwards, if you could sum this up?
President, Madam Civil Party, please hold on. I give the floor to Aung Takushe.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, I'm going to object. I didn't object before because my colleague was speaking about Khieu Sampon and about his supposed encounter with the civil party here present now. But I think now she's going to be put questions about the population movement, which is not within the scope of the trial. So therefore, I object that questions be put in that regard. what I wanted to focus on in particular, Mr. President, was the fact that, or was the civil party's role once she had cooked for these evacuees. But of course, I don't challenge the fact that the population movement that followed is not in the scope of the trial. So I can not put this question if the Chamber accepts that. Okay. Civil party, you said that when you saw Kisampon after Phnom Penh in 1978, you were with your husband. Can you explain to the Chamber what happened to your husband at the end of 1978?
I did not know what happened to my husband. He disappeared. I did not know whether he committed any wrongdoing.
Mr. President, with your leave, I would like to provide to the civil party a list of prisoners. E3/10-454. And the civil party gave us the name of her first husband at the beginning of the hearing, so I'd like to see if she recognizes her husband's name on this list. I am at ERN 01018812 of document E3/10-454.
President, the Chamber grants your request.
Civil parties, I am therefore providing you with a list. I know that you know how to read, but I think you need glasses. I don't know if you have your glasses with you. Can you read without your glasses? So this is a list, a prisoner's list, and we see that they were arrested in December 1978, and I'd like to draw your attention to number 14 in that list. I would like you to read out loud the name and the alias and the age and a person's position or occupation, and I'd like to see if this name rings a bell, reminds you of anything. So I'm at number 14 in that list.
Number 14. My husband. His name to me, as I knew, was Keng Chung. And in 1978, his age was 25 years old. So this is really the name of my husband. And regarding the people who were with him, in number 13, named Kung Nhé. His name was Kong Nhé. And number 15, the name is Run. I don't know his surname, but the name Run is clear to me. So the three individuals came together and they were arrested at the same time. Thank you.
And I'd like to specify here before the chamber that the civil party was a civil party in case 001 and that her civil party application had been rejected because there was not enough evidence regarding the disappearance and the demise of her husband at S21. But thanks to the new list that was drafted by the OCIJ, we were able to access lists from the period that allowed us to find the civil party's husband's name. The civil party, in this list it is stated that your husband apparently was executed in December 1978, that is to say at the very end of 1978. So does that correspond to what you remember?
President, Madam Civil Party, please hold on. The floor is given to Council Victor Kope.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I object to this question. It's inappropriate because the question goes to what she remembers about the execution of her husband. She doesn't know anything about the execution of her husband, so she can also not remember anything. So the question that is phrased in this way would be inappropriate.
Well, I will rephrase and I will speak about disappearance, and then I might put an introductory question. So were you present when your husband was taken away?
I was with him on the night before the day of his arrest, and the next day it was around 8 in the morning. My husband disappeared. I went to an office and I asked people there, where's my husband? And I was told that my husband was sent to do rice farming. And his belonging was still with me. So I asked my child, where is your father? And he said, he went with Pu Nye or Uncle Nye. And my husband disappeared since then.
What happened to you and to your child then, after the arrest of your husband?
After my husband had been arrested, it was 1 hour later, I was instructed to get my belongings and go into a vehicle along with my child. And I was sent to an area where I was assigned to harvest rice.
Were you told why you had to leave Phnom Penh?
Before I was told to leave the city, I was told that I would be sent to do rice farming.
Were you provided with the reasons for your husband's arrest?
No. After his disappearance, I was not informed about what had happened to him. I had no clues at all. I did not know where he was taken to.
You spoke to us about your son, who described the circumstances in which your husband was arrested. Did you have any other children during the DK regime before the disappearance of your husband or after the disappearance of your husband?
After I was separated from my husband, I was 7 months pregnant. So when I was sent to do rice farming, I had a small child with me and I was also pregnant. President, the floor is given to Judge McLavange.
Yes, I have an additional question. Counsel Giroux, could you tell us if the name of the civil party's husband is on the list of the S-21 prisoners that was established by the OCIJ? I understand that you are referring to documents that refer to this list, but you did not provide us with the number corresponding to the civil party's husband on that list. Yes, I have it, but I'm looking for it, in fact, Your Honor. I have, here it is, yes. So in this list from the OCIJ, E3/10604, it is numbers 12381. 12831. And the names of the two colleagues that were also identified by the civil party right now are on the same list at entries 10830 in the case of Ye, whom she spoke about, and 10832 for Run, which the civil party also spoke about. So I just had a last question, Mr. President, which the civil party may also address during her statement of suffering, so I'll leave it up to your discretion. So, civil party, you told us that you were transferred to a rice field and you were with your child and you were pregnant already for several months. Can you describe to us the circumstances under which you delivered your second child?
When I was sent to do rice farming, while I was harvesting rice for about half a month, I was sent further, and we did not go there by vehicle. We walked on foot. Finally we arrived in Posat province. We arrived at Pade mountain. And then after we returned from the mountain, I delivered my baby at the area called Orisai. It was in late 1979. It was in March of the year of the horse.
Thank you, Civil Party. Thank you, Mr. President.
President, it is now convenient time for the adjournment. The Chamber will resume its hearing tomorrow, 30 November 2016. The hearing tomorrow, the Chamber will hear testimony of 2 TCCP 258, and we also will hear the testimony of 2 TCCP 1063. Court officer, in collaboration with WISU, please make necessary transport arrangement to send the civil party to where she is staying, and please invite her back into the courtroom tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Security personnel are instructed to bring Kheo Sampon and Nuon Chie back to the detention facility and have them returned to the courtroom tomorrow.